Hey guys, it's Red Nomster, and today I have a rather unique way of storing items. Now, it's not the most practical, that's going to be my disclaimer right away. It really isn't, but it's pretty much just a proof of concept to show something original that I haven't ever seen been used in this way before. Now, I made this with my cousin, messing around with fishing poles and stuff like that, but like I said, this is a magic wand storage system, apparently, is what I'm going for. Basically, we have a magic wand, and it's a magic wand tutorial, or video storage system because it only works with a magic wand. So basically this is more of an in-game type storage system where you store your big things like your blocks of iron and gold and redstone and diamonds and emeralds and stuff like that, rather than just the item form. It's for the compact storage, so when you want to, if you have a lot of iron ingots, you make them into blocks just so you can have less storage. But basically this will give you a whole stack of ingots plus 8, or plus 8 I think, yeah. A whole stack plus 8 is as close as I can get to a normal stack just using blocks. So what we do is we say we want redstone, so we hit the redstone lever, and then we come down here and we throw, we activate the magic wand, and we can step back and then just watch as this string type thing travels all the way to that lamp. And as you can see, that's the redstone ore, and then it activates that, so you can let go of it, and then once you flick this lever once more, you will then get your 7, and then of course the 1 comes a little bit later due to how I made the redstone, but it works very cleanly, I suppose. It's very awesome. We can go ahead and do another one, do gold, I guess. So that'll be the 4th one, so it'll go quite a ways up. Now the reason why this isn't very practical is because it's rather slow, as you can see, for a vertical storage system, but considering it only works with a fishing rod, it means that you need a fishing rod to be able to use it at all. So you basically need the magic wand. And yeah, as you can see, it travels up, it flows over, hits the lever, and then flick it off. Give me that. Gives you the gold. Beautiful. And then the 1 comes a little bit later. But yeah, so that's pretty much how it works. I'll go outside in a minute and show you basically the inner workings. It's rather big, actually, but yeah. And this is what it looks pretty much like without the shell or the casing that I was inside earlier. We were standing right down there, and this is all the monstrous wiring that it takes to make this. Now, it's a little bit uncompact, I realized afterwards. These little modules can be on this side just as easy, and that would reduce the size of these buses right here. But other than that, it's still a lot of redstone, and buses, I guess, and buses as in, like, wiring. If you don't know what buses are, wiring buses, lines of wire. But yeah, so how does this work? Basically, you may have guessed that it just works off of the upflow stream of water, or, you know, not really upflow, but the fact that bobbers float. And bobbers kind of render weird when floating in that situation. They're inside of the block, but like if I flip this top lever, you'll see that when it gets to the top, these pistons cut off the water, and the dispenser shoots out more water and tells it to get off right here. Now it lands inside the dispenser, but you'll see quickly that it is actually on the pressure plate. It's just kind of weird, but it still works. And you'll see that the dispensers up there will shoot out the items, and they'll land on the pressure plate. So to get those, you flick the lever back off, or the magic wand, I suppose, and then yeah, flick the lever back off, and then it'll drop the items like so. And we get 8 iron blocks, which is approximately 9 times 8. That's like 72 iron ingots, which is close enough to a stack. For compactness sake, that's what I went for, basically, instead of making a bunch of timings and stuff. Now, the pistons and dispensers and stuff like that for water, the way it works is very peculiar, and I'll show it over here. It's a little bit easier to see, I think, anyways. So basically, this is just a smaller scale one. As you can see, when we throw it in, it will float up the same way. As you can see, it's in the block, like usual. It's kind of weird. But anyways, so what we have is first these modules, which is the orange and green line, which is basically just 2 logic gates working as one. What we need to do, I'll show up here, is activate these pistons to block off the water. But if we just leave it at that, this water will be locked off, and then the bobber will just fall because it's not going up in water anymore. So we need to dispense more water, and to do that, we need to give a button input to that dispenser and a lever input to that. So I just used, you know, I did this. So it's a lever, it sticks out that, and then soon after, the dispenser shoots out water, so that is the new area in which items will now float out. So they'll just, not items, but the bobber will now float out. So the bobber will float out here, land there, and then activate the rest of the redstone that shoots out the dispenser, or the items from these dispensers, and lands in the water. Now if we turn this off, what we have to do is create another basically monostable inputs, and we do that using a falling edge detector. Now basically that just means that the empty dispenser, or the dispenser with the empty bucket, now sucks the water back in, so it can shoot again later. So it's not just going to be empty now. And then it sucks these back in. So the falling edge detector is basically doing the same thing this monostable circuit is, and this creates a button input, just like an on-off pulse. This does an on-off pulse, but when the lever is turned off. So it's turned on, and now if you hit it again, fishing pole, hello, you'll see that light up right there for just a little bit. And when it does that, it sucks the water back into this bucket and leaves it clean like this again, and closes the pistons so the items can now fall down. That was a lot, but that's not it at all. So we continue just a little bit, and we follow the blue buses. Now these blue buses are activated when the bobber lands on these pressure plates. So, like so. Okay, you know what I mean. And the pressure plate basically acts as a constant input for as long as you want, but it's basically a pulse because you suck the bobber back in with the fishing rod, or reel it back in, I suppose, with the magic wand. I don't know. I tried doing something. Anyways, it goes along this wool, goes up this vertical redstone, and then goes around here. And we had to do this to avoid all of this other buses and stuff like that. And then goes into this little simple logic right here, which goes into a torch burnout clock. So this right here is basically a pulse lengthener, and it's using comparators and length of redstone to slowly die out over time. And it's actually over here as well, so I'll show it over here because it's a lot easier to see. So basically, we'll go ahead, there's items in here, 8, that's basically what it does. It's a very old clock that's worked for a very long time. Basically, torches burn out for 8 pulses before they die, or 7 or something like that, I don't remember. And when you hit this button, this will make a pulse lengthener, which means when this button turns off, this will still be on for long enough for this clock to give its 8 pulses. So we'll hit this, you'll see the torch go off a bunch, and then when it pulls back in, it turns back on, and then we have 8 items in here. Now we'll show you again the reason why we get the item delayed afterwards is because you'll see that torch is off, and now it's on, it gives you the last one. So it's kind of cool, I think. It's a very neat concept. It derived from a lot of random work me and my cousin were doing, actually. He's kind of intelligent with this type of stuff. He's definitely not an avid Minecraft player, but we have played a lot in the past and stuff like that, and he actually got me into Minecraft a long time ago, so that was pretty cool. But I don't care about him. He's useless. No, so we were messing around. These are our thinking wheels. We put minecarts on them and push them around to think. And I thought of the idea of basically something I tried in the past, which was, of course, with cauldrons. And I put a baby zombie in them, and then put a piston in their head. And basically that means their body was like under the piston, but their hitbox was above, because a baby zombie's hitbox is just as large as a normal zombie's hitbox, which is something I found interesting. So we were trying to do something with that, and we ended up trying to go for like minecarts and stuff. And then I was like, maybe we can do a pulse by like lifting him up with a fishing rod, and then he would leave a pressure plate or something, but that was just not going to work because he had to be in a cauldron and stuff like that. But then we went for maybe if we just didn't use a baby zombie, maybe if we use like boats and something like that. So we tried boats, and boats broke on land after 2 hits with a fishing rod, so it's kind of it was kind of useless, it breaks, so it's not good. So we tested out in water, and it broke in 1 hit, so we're like, wow, maybe we should just use minecarts. And we messed around with minecarts on land and stuff, and we're like, maybe we should put minecarts in water, and then maybe we can do some more stuff with the fishing rod in water. And we realized while we were throwing the fishing rod in that it floats rather easily, so it does that. And then we're like, what can we do with this? So we were thinking about making like a carnival type game, where you test the speed of how fast you threw it, and then it's basically like that one game where you hit the button with the hammer as hard as you can, and then it'll go up to a certain height, and then the piston will cut off the stream, so we'll stop there. But then we were like, maybe we can do something more with it, because that's cool, but then it's kind of wonky to make. We tested a few things. We tested back with the minecart thing again. We basically just put minecart chests in there, and we were like, maybe we can, you know, throw a rod in the stream and then suck the minecart out at a certain height and stuff like that. But it just wasn't working right. And even if it did fall down, there'd be no way to get it back up without a bunch of logic and stuff like that. Even though I did use a bunch of logic in that, it'd be even more. So yeah. And of course, this is basically just Shrek, a Shrek version. We throw the fishing rod in, it gets to the top, hits the tripwire, which is useless right now, but basically it ends up creating the Martians from Toy Story, because it has a little antenna. It's cute. And then moving forward, we then made this, which is basically just a logic gate for storage, and we added the pressure plate thing and stuff like that, so the little dismounts, and we needed a way to choose different types of storage, which was by using different floors that activated different dispensers at the top. And that is how we created this beauty. Look at it. I basically created this final project because the busing and stuff like that was annoying. But basically, it is expandable. These are all just inverted, that's why they all look lumpy, but the blue obviously is very clean and stuff like that. But yeah, this is it. I don't know. I haven't made a redstone device like this in a very long time. And by this, I mean like this magnitude. You know, of course, I made redstone videos, the last 5 videos I've made, but I haven't actually went to my roots of busing and stuff like that and making logic gates to make certain things like this. Even if it's not practical, I think it's very cool because it's a very new concept, rather. It's been possible for a long time, but I've just never seen fishing rods used to this extent before, so I really wanted to make it, and there you go. Magic wand storage, so yeah. But yeah, that's all I really have for this video, guys. If you enjoyed it, like I said, world download will be in the description. A separate world, or not separate, but a clone with this way away, so it's not around a bunch of random stuff. And then, of course, yeah, leave a like if you enjoyed it, because that shows me that you guys enjoy these types of builds. I probably wouldn't put as much time in this if I didn't think you guys would enjoy it, because you guys like my trends, you know, cauldrons and fishing rods, things like that. So I went all out with this one. I tried about 5 hours, actually. My cousin said we were building this from start to finish with the minecart rails to this, the thinking wheels to this. So, you know, not the biggest thing in the world, but, you know, just spur of the moment, I thought it would be really fun to make, and I did. So, yep. Thank you guys for watching, and, of course, I'll see you in the next video.